one.
Good afternoon. We'd like to welcome you to New Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program here at Meredith Farm in Lexington, Kentucky. We know a lot of you are watching from home, and we appreciate you coming out and joining us today. My name's Anna Ford. I'm the Thoroughbred Program Director, and been working for the program since it started 28 years ago. And I'm excited we're excited to have this new virtual tour option that we're doing. We're going to be doing these every Wednesday at 1, as long as we're staffed enough to do so. And so for today, what we wanted to do is show you around the farm, take you through the barns, meet a couple of our adoptable horses, show you some training techniques that we're doing, as well as meet our trainer, Leandra, and also talk about our mission, our history, and just kind of give you a good overview of what it is that we do here at New Vocations. And we encourage everyone as we go along to put your questions in the comment box, and we'll do our best to get to those questions. So we're going to go ahead and head on inside. This is our Whirlwind Poppy Barn is what we call it. It was actually a barn that was donated in honor of a horse named Whirlwind Poppy, who by someone who was a big supporter of Thoroughbred Aftercare, and she wanted him to be a riding horse, and she purchased him from when Beulah Park was open and retired him, and she wanted to honor him by helping us build this barn. So now we call it the Whirlwind Poppy Barn. Well, come on in. We've got some characters here. Not Leandra, she's not the character, but the horse is. I want to introduce you to Leandra. She's our facility trainer and director here.
Hello.
And I've asked her to join us as we walk through and meet some of these adoptable horses. And she's going to share more about the training and some of their techniques and whatnot. Before we get there, let me just give, for some of you, I know if you're familiar with our program, you already know our history, you know our mission. But I know there's some people joining us maybe for the first time, so we wanted to go over just a little bit of, just a very brief elevator pitch of who we are and what we do here. Thoroughbreds and standardbreds. We work with the racing industry for both breeds to rehab, retrain, and rehome as many retired racehorses as possible. This lovely one here is one of those. On average, we're serving anywhere from 450 to 500 horses a year, and obviously right now with a lot of the shutdowns that are going on and services, so we're here to serve the industry. And on who this first character is here. Who is this?
This is Geppy behind me.
Theo. And I was looking up Theo's information. First of all, he is by English Channel, and ironically, the horse directly across from him is napping, but he's also by English Channel. But they both share something in common other than their sires. This particular horse was bred, raised, raced, and retired by Calumet Farm, which is pretty cool. We don't, often have horses that have had the same owner from start to finish, so that was pretty exciting. I don't know if you can see our farm dog, but this is Rambo. He's our mascot. Anytime we have the camera out, he normally shows up, so you'll see him off and on throughout this tour. A couple other things about Get Thee Behind Me, which is his name. Is he on our website yet?
Yes. Yep. He's already on our website. He's ready to be adopted.
So he came into our program in November and had a little bit of time to have some rehab from an old injury, and then was brought over here, and you guys started doing some training with him. What's his schedule like right now?
He gets worked 3 or 4 times a week, so just every other day, and has gone through walk, truck, canter work really well. So he's just in what we kind of call the fine-tuning stages, so learning how to really engage his hind end and collect and just be long and low, and then learn how to be a little elastic. So in that kind of honing in on specific thing stage, but he's already been introduced to things like ground poles, and he's been ridden indoors and outdoors in groups and alone. So Well, it's kind of hard to say at this point because he's a horse, and as we've faced him with more and more challenges in training, he's met each one of a good level candidate before. It's hard to say what he's going to do because he seems to show a high level capacity. So I think he's really just he's going to tell us what he wants to do and what he can do.
Racing crew might know Mike very well. He's a pretty prominent owner up in New York. So let's go to him, and he came in February, so last month, right?
Yep.
And just like the one we just saw, been a huge advocate for aftercare and good supporter, and so we were just really to get him. From what I understand, he was not
really nice. So we're excited to show you what he's done.
And you'll notice that when we walk through the barns, right now we're in that season where we're coming out of winter, coming into spring. As winter fur on still, which is healthy for them to, we want them to be horses and grow long hair in the winter.
Yeah.
So he's going to totally change over the next 30 days as he sheds out this hair and starts really to bloom, especially with all of our grass that we have out there. So
yeah, they all kind of have their own internal thermometer and they'll lose their hair accordingly, but also things like our light changes now, like it's staying light a lot later. So depending on where the horses come from and what sort of things they've been doing, and now when they're in work, we groom them a lot more versus like once they were turned out like him. So yeah, we're expecting him to get a nice glossy coat anytime now.
So our website, if you want to see either one of these guys, is newvocations.org. You just click on horses and you can look through all of our listings there. So let's continue on through. I think we've got one more in this barn. Is he still sleeping?
He might be. Nope, he's back out. That was the sign that he was sleeping on.
Yeah, bring him up here.
You can see that. You just woke up from a nap. So.
Oh, he doesn't want to come.
Hungry. Here, bring it.
You got any more of those cookies in your pocket?
You can have snacks on the way. Come here. We're coming.
Like, well, maybe.
As long as we're bringing snacks, we're coming. Okay. Come.
So this is ASPA, right? And it's spelled ASPA Ad. And he was bred by Shadwell Farm. He's by Street Cry. And he was actually racing at Mountaineer, right? So he was in West Virginia. And I don't know the whole story about that, but I know that there was, I believe, another horse that someone here locally was getting off the track to retire, and he kind of got put in the trailer too. Is kind of the moral of that story. So we're happy to have him here. He's definitely a regally classy bred horse. And how's he doing with his transition here?
He's doing really well. So we just got some glam shots of him. So we're in process of creating his profile for the website. So be on the lookout for him pretty soon. We've already gotten our first couple of rides on him, and he's pretty uncomplicated under saddle, which is what we expected, given that that's the same way he acts on the ground. He's really sweet and really mellow. So far so good under saddle. He really just is easy to work with. He's an easy learner, willing to learn, and eager to please. So pretty excited about him. As you can see, he stands around 16.2 or 3, because he's probably right in my head where his withers are, and he's a really chunky build. He's a nice big teddy bear of a horse, and during the day, since he gets turned out at night, during the day you can usually find him sleeping in his stall. And we have a couple pictures, you might have seen them online already, or where our staff can go in and kind of cuddle with him while he's sleeping. He just is very sweet and really personable.
And loves his naps.
It feels good right there. So he's a really good all-around personality. We're expecting him to be what we consider sort of an intermediate friendly type of horse. So he's looking he'll be looking for his home pretty soon.
And what is his name again?
ASPA Ad. ASPA Ad.
And take one quick look at him, and I want to point out our friends over at Stone Street Stables. We appreciate their support. They've been long-time supporters of our program, and the crew at Stone Street have just partnered with us on tours at Horse Country Tours, which we had to postpone until May. But we did want to give a shout out to Horse Country Tours. There's a lot of these virtual tours going on right now, and I want to give you the website. It's visithorseCountry.com if you're liking the behind the scenes at these different farms or at our farm, and you'd like to see the behind the scenes at Lanes Inn. I believe they're doing some, and Mill Ridge, and some of the bigger farms here in the area. Go over to our friends at visithorseCountry.com and check them out. So, but yes, shout out to Stone Street. Thank you so much for your support. And let's go on out and see we're heading to the indoor, is that right?
Yep.
So as we walk out here, we'll just keep chatting a little bit about this facility specifically. We started building this facility here at Meredith Farm 2015, and thankfully for the partnership with Susan Donaldson Foundation, they provided the land here for us to build this facility. We'll just stop for a second. Amanda, if you want to pan around and kind of give a little bit of scope. We have over 150 acres that we operate on here. We just added some additional pastures in the back. And this is our main training facility. So we'll have 50 to 60 horses here at any given time. Our program as a whole will have 150 horses at any given time, spread over 7-8 facilities. And just a little bit more about some numbers I was actually doing a little bit of research or just kind of looking at what's going on, because I know with all the different shutdowns and restrictions that everyone's dealing with, and obviously the economy. This month, for March, we have already taken in 33 retired racehorses off the racetrack as of today. We've adopted out just this month since the first 27 horses that have actually not just been adopted but left. We have about 4 waiting to leave. And the amazing number that I looked up today is that although things are slowing down, shutting down around here, we've actually had 97 adoption applications since March 1st, which is unreal. So we're really excited that we still have people out there that are looking to adopt from our program. Just a quick memo. I know a lot of you are under certain restrictions. You're under lockdown. Here in Lexington, we are still running our program, but we are on a very skeleton staff. All of our admin staff that can work from home are working from home, and that leaves our team here that are hands-on with the horses, and they're here to take care of our horses, to continue cleaning, feeding, giving the horses exercise. And 1 o'clock works really well for us because everyone's just getting back from lunch. We've got about 30 minutes that we can show you guys around, and anything we can do to keep our horses getting homes, we're gonna continue to do, because there's a lot of horses that need to come in right now with all the tracks closing. So anyhow, on a different note, let's move on into the indoor. We're gonna go inside, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I wanted to introduce you to Zapparini though before he started showing us his stuff.
So Zapparini, I got a little note on Zapparini here. He's what we would consider a war horse because he won over 250,000 at the track. Woo! And he's quite the character.
He's like, I'm busy.
Well, let's go on in. We'll talk about him. You can see him. So we're entering our indoor arena here.
One of the things that we do with the horses, every once in a while, it's hard to do it all the time for every single one of them, but definitely for the ones who are higher level capable and ones who could use some accessory videos. As you can see, Rambo likes to assist in these exercises too, is to set up a jumping chute. Rambo is a really strict coach, so he makes sure that they're going just right. But Zapparini is a horse who definitely has the potential to do some jumping and really likes to do it. He's a very athletic horse, so we just set up the jumping chute, and we're going to try to do some videos in the next couple of days of some of the horses who are jumping capable to show you a little bit of what they could do. So as you can see here, Zapparini takes it pretty readily.
I think that's good. We don't need to. That's amazing. I can't tell you how many times we've put the jump chute up for horses. Here, follow him again. I think he's going to do it. He just wants to keep going over the jump. This is a great sign. Jumping for racehorses, they're not normally ever asked to go over anything, a jump, let alone a jump or a ground pole. And so when a horse is naturally interested in doing what he's doing right now, that tells us that he probably would really like to be in a discipline where he can jump. So that's really exciting. I'd keep the camera on him a little bit. He's going to take a little breather. And if he might decide he wants to jump it again, who knows? He's a classy guy. Like I said, he has won over $250,000 at the track. He was a nice stakes place horse. He was trained by Graham Motion, who's been a great advocate for thoroughbred aftercare. And, since he's been in the program, he's just been a real classy guy to work with. And obviously he picks up on things fairly quickly and easily. The thoroughbreds in general are very good athletes. And I think when they have been stakes placed and running at that level, that does cross over into different disciplines, that he's going to have a nice mind. He's going to be very athletic and very versatile in different things that he can go on and do in his next career. Yeah, let's bring him over here.
The first really warm day we've had in a long time.
Yeah, we'll just stand here. Yeah, he's worked up a little sweat because he's still got his winter coat on, and it's about 60 degrees here today, so we're not going to ask him to do much more. He's already proved that he can do a jump fairly easily, quickly. He likes it. That's stuff that we're all looking for, right?
Absolutely. Hi, buddy. Oh, you're so handsome.
Zapparini, and is he on our website?
Yes, he's already up on our website, and he is looking for his home.
We'll be posting more videos on him. Obviously, now we know he likes to jump, which is great.
And he stands around 16 hands. I think he's a hair over, maybe 16 and a half. Has a really nice athletic build, very proportionate. A lot of times some of the things we're looking for, especially in horses we might ask to do a little bit more, ones who are more sort of high level potential. He's like, I'm going to go check out what everybody else is going to do. But you're looking for more of that square body, even thirds between the front, middle, and back half. He's got all that. He is like a Porsche car of horses. Nice uphill shoulder. He has really nice line straight through his legs. You want to make sure that you could draw a line that goes right through their lower leg and runs right into the back of their heel if you're looking for that really solid base of support. And he's one that definitely has all of those all-star conformational characteristics, and then with that willingness to work and physical ability, you really have a horse who could do a lot.
So just a quick note before we go into the next barn and let him kind of cool down. Just briefly, the retraining process. What do most of the horses that come here do? And obviously we have this arena that we work in, We also have the outdoor arena that we'll walk by on our way out. But what kind of things are you doing during this transition stage from them being ridden at the racetrack, and that's one style, going from that to now being turned out and now doing some exercise in here?
Yeah, so like you said, one of the things that we do first and foremost when we're just getting the horses used to everything is getting them used to turnout. Some of them haven't had turnout in a group like we have in our big open fields in a while, so they have to go through that sort of social, be a horse, make some friends phase, and then we'll start to work them on groundwork. And when we're doing groundwork, we're not looking for perfection. We're mostly looking to get a sense of their personality and their physical movement style. That lets us figure out what we might be working on down the road as far as their personality, physical things that we need to work on, maybe imbalances, or maybe they pick up the left lead a lot more readily than they do the right lead, things like that. So all the horses have been taught to lunge. We start them in our round pens, make sure that they kind of know what's going on, and then we might work them a little bit more in groundwork if we're thinking that we want to address some things on the ground first, but then figuring out if there are any imbalances, things that we need to address, any sort of little behavioral things that they might have gotten used to, like leaning into the hand of the rider, which on the track you really want them to be stretching into the jockey's hand, like really ready to go, because you're wanting to get speed and cross the finish line first. But here we're not looking to get speed so much as even movement, and then asking them to do things like collect from the back. And so really just getting them to that walk, trot, canter, those are our basic goals, and we'll work on any of the little things that we find along the way.
Right. Yeah, because the basics, it seems like, the nice thing about thoroughbreds is that they're already trained to ride.
Right.
They know it's just a different type of riding. So
Absolutely.
You're just slowing it down, letting them relax. A lot of them we see just naturally want to relax. Some of them want to go. But just doing that walk, trot, canter, the basics for all the different disciplines is pretty much the same, you know. So that's what you work on, which is great.
Yep. We just build that foundation there.
Let's go on into the next barn, meet our next adoptable horse. You'll see out here, we have our outdoor arena, which is harder for us to set up a jumping chute, which is why we chose to do that in the indoor. And then you can kind of span out and see the additional fields that we have. Is that some of our horses are out during the day. Basically the way we do things here is the horses that are newer to our program, they're out during the day so we can keep an eye on them. And the horses that have been here longer, they're out all night. And then they're in during the day so we can work with them, which seems to be a pretty good program. And a lot of times we walk through the barn around this time and there's a lot of nappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing out there, you can see the field. They were running around earlier when we first started. It looks like they quieted down. They're ready for it now. So now this barn, this is a second barn that we built here. It's the Rob Shamra-Pulley barn, donated by Pulley Stables and Rob Sham Stables, both avid supporters of our program. And we've got a lot of cute faces in here, some dirty faces. You know, part of our goal here with our virtual tours is to show you the up close and personal of what goes on here. As much as I wish we could groom every single horse every single day, that doesn't happen because they just go back out the next day and roll and get that dirty again. So.
Well, Sunset Green Flash is the dirty one right here. I walked into the barn and remarked to one of our staff that I didn't know that we had a gray horse. So he's decided, he knows that grays are really hot tickets for some people, so he just wanted to show that he can be
his new adoption.
Yeah, he can be versatile. He's like, if you want a gray, I can be gray.
Okay, well, so we have Stop Asking is who we want to meet here.
Yeah, he's right in the middle. Big blaze, chestnut thing. There he is.
Stop Asking, and he's in Coke.
Oh, here's my note.
So stop asking. What can you tell us about him?
Well, we call him Sam in the barn for short. He is a horse he's already up on the website. You can check out his profile there. He's adoptable. We've been doing rehab rides with him to just get him back up into fitness because he actually broke his leg. Part of it, what you would call on a human or shin. He broke his shin, and it's healing really nicely. But at this point of healing, for anyone who's broken things, you might know that at some point your doctors actually want you to get out and get things moving so that there's blood flow and that the bone can repair itself really structurally sound. What's nice about if you're going to break anything, that's a pretty good place to break because it's not in a joint where you would worry about the healing being sort of in that perfect ball shape so that you don't have any friction. And once the bone heals, generally you have a even stronger piece of bone there. So really he's not expected to have any limitations from that, and we already know how he is under saddle. He's a really, really good boy. If you go on his profile, you can see some of the videos we've taken of him already, but he has been a pleasure to work with. He could not be any sweeter. He is such a good boy, and he'll continue to grow. He's still got some growing to do, but already he's shaping into a really awesome, sweet horse.
Well, I think in the injuries, I know it sounds bad to break a leg. He had a hairline fracture in his shin. I just want to touch on that a little bit as far as that, the horses have been racing their athletes, and just like football athletes and people that play soccer professionally, injuries are part, unfortunately, of playing professional sports. The majority of the injuries that we get coming through this program are rehabable and will be just fine, just like his injury. He had to do some stall rest. He had to have some limited time with, where he couldn't have a lot of exercise, but now that bone is all healed, and now he can go on and start doing some exercise, which is really exciting. I did want to let you know that this horse came from New York, and we partner with the New York Horsemen's Association up there, NYSA. They have a program called Take the Lead, and where we get a lot of our New York horses from. So he came down from them, and they provide support with every horse that comes through our program that they send. They provide the shipping. They provide a lot of the resources needed for us to do our job, which is great. So we love our partnership that we have with Take the Lead. Okay. Anybody else? Let's walk down here just 1 second. I know that the shower's a little loud. Let's go see Zabarina get in the shower.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys can hear the background noise, but instead of running from the noise, I think we'll just kind of check it out. Zabarina's getting a little bath. Obviously got a little warm. We call this the wash rack. Very much like a horse shower. And obviously with as many starts as he's had and as many times as he's raced and trained every day of his life, he's had a lot of showers. Okay. We'll walk back over here. So do we have any questions yet before we start wrapping things up? Amanda?
No.
Nothing to know? We'll do answering some questions now if anyone has any.
This guy right here, you'll see his name is 502. He's a really big guy. He's had even some formal dressage training. So for anybody who's looking for a big beefy mount, really, really sweet horse who you could play with in dressage and who's even done some jumping, keep an eye out for him.
Absolutely.
You have the sweetest face.
No questions? Really? Okay, well.
No.
Okay, so just a couple things I wanted to touch on before we sign off. We wanted to give a shout out to Southern Living. They mentioned the horse country tours that are the virtual tours that are going on in their online magazine, which just today or yesterday. So we were really thankful that they mentioned us, and hopefully we'll be sending some people our direction. For all of those of you that are watching and you might be wondering how you can help, there's a lot of ways that anybody can help. If you're watching this right now, and maybe even you're watching the recording from earlier, one of the best ways that we can have our audience on our social media help us is by sharing our posts and sharing our information. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, they kind of limit what we see these days. So every time a horse is shared, anytime that you can share any of our information, it's helping more people see it. That's going to help us get these horses homes faster, and that's a huge help for us. So if all you can do is share our information every time that we post a horse, send it to somebody else to share, encourage your friends to share, that's extremely helpful. So we appreciate that. Obviously, if you are in the market looking for your next partner, whether it's a companion horse, whether it's a show horse, we're here. We'd love for you to check out our thoroughbreds or our standardbreds. You can get a really quality horse that has a lot of experience, a lot of time under tack for under $1,000, which is the majority of our adoption fees. And I know with the way the economy is going right now, we feel like our horses are the most economical horses out there to own, because you get a really quality horse for a very inexpensive price. And so we encourage anyone that's interested in looking at our horses for adoption to do that.
Do you assist adopters in finding their perfect match?
Absolutely. So all of our trainers, so we have several facilities, and there's an adoption process. You first fill out an application, which is on our website. Click on Adopt, it'll walk you through that. Once someone is approved, then any of our trainers are happy to talk to you about what would be the perfect match for you. And we encourage people to fill out the application first, because we have, like I said, 97 people fill out applications since March 1st. So that's a lot of people for us to assist in finding the right matches for. But we do give priority to those people every single time. So, but yeah, once you're approved, our trainers would love to talk to you, set up a FaceTime appointment if needed, because I know we've got restrictions on visits now. You can also watch through the videos, see the horses move. But our trainers know these horses best and are happy to try to make that match for you. Lastly, on how you can help, is obviously if you're interested in maybe making a contribution. We're a nonprofit 501c3 charity. We only run because of donations and grants and support that we get from the industry. And we're looking at, this year's going to be a tougher year, and we're going to continue to serve the industry to the best of our ability. And so obviously providing a donation of either funding or resources is greatly appreciated. So, any more questions? We've got a quiet group today.
If anybody who's not watching right now has questions, feel free to submit them in the comments, and we'll get back to them as we're able, even after this is broadcasted.
And this is our second tour, so we're just learning how to do this. If there's more you want to see, we want to take your suggestions. Obviously, each week we're going to try to change it up just a little bit. We can't show the whole facility in the amount of time that we're allotted, but we definitely want to hear from you on what you think we can do better, so we can show that to you. If you want to show, again, if you want to come visit us on our website, please go over to newvocations.org. And you can flip through and see all of the horses that we currently have available for adoption, as well as all of our social media feeds and all the different ways that you can follow. Well, that's it. Well, we're going to sign off. Till next week. We'll be here next Wednesday, 1 o'clock.